Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. How goes it? I'm good. I'm good. All good. Happy Friday, everyone. From the beach, nice work. Well done, Katie. Well done. Fridays, it's good to start the weekend early. So, just looking at, was going to take you through the weekly, and really no change. One thing that's really obvious when you look at these charts is taking a look at where we are and where the inventory is. It's all underneath us. So other than yesterday's high, that's the only resistance we have. That's okay, Moran. So it's a tough market to put a position short into. You know, inventory's underneath us. We're in distribution. Very quiet, very tight, quiet profile in the overnight. I will predict a very choppy open. And of course, we'll look to see if we can get any liquidation and take out that overnight low. That's the big thing. If we take out the overnight high, of course your target is going to be yesterday's high, which was an all-time high. The other thing is, if you want, these levels I think will be very useful for you. Yesterday's high hit 78.38 half to the tick. So this chart on a half-hour level is working really well. The way I interpret this is, do we stay above 78.27? So that's going to be the first thing we looked at, right? If we stay above 78.27, most likely we will rotate up into the 30s, okay? 38, 36, that kind of thing. If we can't get above 78.27 in RTH, just look for that same back and forth. This is half hour, so you could even draw like a little balance back and forth like that. And there's really no change to any of these charts, I would say until we take out, 78.19, 78.18, until we can take those out on the downside, just trade smart today, you know? Don't overtrade, don't look for huge moves, right? If it's choppy, just chill out, do your thing. Alrighty. It's just checking in on Jim. His wife was a little sick, one of the guys in our room. So we're wishing her a speedy recovery. And let's see. Okay, how are we going to trade this? Well, we'll use the handy dandy 1 minute chart. And we have been in this green distribution balance for about 2 hours, 3 hours, almost 4 hours. We've been above 25. So, okay. Trading at the all-time highs. Is it Ian Lopez? Ian, that's actually a good thing. That means that your brain is working. If you're not nervous trading all-time highs, it means you're not really big into risk management. It's a good thing. You should be a little nervous and you should, measure 3 times, cut once. Okay? Especially on a Friday in the middle of summer where the contract volume's light, the range is tight, the candles are small, business is slow, it's choppy. So, when the market opens, expect business to be slow and choppy, which means only trade from the edges. What do I mean by that? Only trade where you get a good deal, right? Right now, I do not see a short until we come under 25 and stay under 25. Right now, we're in this really tight chop between 25 and 29. If you can get in and out for 2 or 3 points here and there, go ahead. But as you can see, I haven't even taken a trade yet all morning because if you look at the morning session I did, I cut it short half an hour because it was so slow and I told everybody to go to the beach. So I haven't taken a trade all day today. And unless something really presents itself that's decent, I'm not going to, you know? Hey Django, how you doing? Great question. Great question. No matter what time frame you trade, it's like zooming into the area you want to do business in on the larger time frame chart. Okay? And you can use the 1 minute levels to tell, like, say your directional bias long, right? I am feeling better, thank you. I still sound a bit weird, but say your directional bias is long, right? Well, you can use these levels to help monitor the progress. Say you buy, say you know your directional bias is long and you bought 20 contracts here, for example. Well, you can see that there's a seller here at 29 and a half, right? You know there's going to be a seller here up in the 31s, and there'll be a seller here at 35. So what you can do on the minute chart, right? You can trade them independently or together. So here's how you do it together, right? If say you're long 20 and you're looking for 78.50. Well, then if it gets past there, check. If it gets past here, check. Think of this as subway stops. And as the market goes higher, does it keep progressing past these levels? That way you can manage your trade and not get stuck in a bad position. Because if the market breaks 33 half, then you know we are now into 4 times cost basis. And you can use these levels to manage your position. It works really, really well. Actually, you gave me a good idea. Could somebody remember this question? Actually, I'm going to go and copy and paste this. I'm going to put this into questions for our next execution class. Whoop. Hang on. Let's see. Does that make sense, Django? If hopefully I answered your question properly. And what we're going to do in our next execution class on Wednesday of next week, we're going to take your question and we're going to break it down and actually draw out the mechanics of it for you on the long and short side. And I'm sure that'll help people who want to hold trades longer as well. And that's what we do in our room. We work through the execution of these things, and that way, you know, we actually have a practical way of tackling the business, right? And that's what we do in our room at Trading Syndicate. Steve is giving away 10 free prop accounts, a little bit of advertising, right? Hey, Sergio, yeah, I think it's going to be choppy, right? Do you think it's possible that we sweep the lows and continue higher? I would love that. Ooh, that's exactly what I would do if I was running this thing. I would sweep the lows and then run it higher. Let's see. You might be right. So we're open. Let's see if we can get past the old overnight point of control where the position one and yesterday's position is here at 23 and a quarter. So if we do sweep the lows, I'll be looking for a look below and fail of the overnight low. We're going to go test the bid now. Sorry. So there's 22, right? Open and straight down. So here's where it gets good. The stop here just at 21. I'm going to trade micro. Let's see if this next candle holds 21.5. If it does, you can buy a little bit. And you know there's going to be a seller at VWAP, right? So if you are going long, if it holds 21, right, I'd put your stop at like 20, 20 and a quarter. And then make sure that you're offered, right? If it breaks 21 and a half, then you know the trade's probably not going to work. Your risk is very light, right? Watch the offer here. It is choppy. Let's see if we get any follow through off of the 21s. So if you bought 22, I'll sell one at 24. I'll sell one at 25. I'll hit them out at 26. And I got two left that I'm long at 23 from. And we're flat. There you go. Look below and fail. Billions and billions served. Failure to take that 21 stop. Rotation up. So, Ian Lopez, that was a very... We almost did it. We almost swept the low, but we stopped short. So a nice little long to the upside. Hey, congratulations on passing your eval. Good, good, good. I'm really happy. Beautiful. Okay, and now let's see if we rotate back down 25 to 21. I am not going to overtrade today. Nice and slow. It is slow. It's definitely slow, right? So your instincts are right. Yes, it's slow business today, Lewis. We had a massive short squeeze yesterday, which was built upon two massive short squeezes. And so not a lot of people really want to put size on a couple of trading days before the Fed in the middle of summer at all-time highs. So it'll be kind of choppy, back and forth, slow business. You know, unless your commander-in-chief tweets something kooky, it'll just be back and forth trades. Catch an edge, wait for an edge, don't overtrade. You know, today's a great day to maybe take a trade, maybe two trades, and then go to the beach. Right? Enjoy those lazy days of August. Right now, we're in the middle of my cost basis at 23. If the candles start getting really small here, it's time to grab a coffee. Okay? Sometimes when the store opens, you know, it's a little slow. Not a lot of customer traffic. So we opened, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's see if I'm noticing from the last two candles, and it's not a lot to go on, the lows are higher. Yeah, it's taken some time for customers to come in the door, you know? Like if I didn't have you guys, I would not be in front of the screen right now, that's for sure. Right? I would have, what do they say in Liverpool? I would have legged it. I would have legged it, lad. Basically, JTM, the time I look at cost basis is when I wake up in the morning, which is about 5 a.m. UK time, about 11 o'clock at night New York time. But all you really need to see, if you look in the video I did this morning and the videos I've done previously, I actually draw out the cost basis, and all you're doing is you're looking for back and forth trading. You're looking for where they sell at the same place and where they stop selling. You know, that's all you're really looking for. Yeah, I mean, today VWAP's pretty flat, right? It's kind of slow. I don't like taking trades from VWAP as a rule. I will if it's really flat and that's the only trade out there, but I prefer not to. I like to close trades at VWAP. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can take out the overnight low. And if we can take out that overnight low, I'm curious to see the low of the last half hour bar is 78.18. If we take out that overnight low, can we take out that M low and then pop back up? Here we go. There's a stop at N and M. Let the large traders work out the overnight low. If we come back over 22, there'll probably be a seller just under 23. Let the large traders work this out. Excuse me. Still got this cough. I apologize. Yeah, so if you have to, then you can use VWAP to take trades. I'd rather not. I like a fixed reference, like a level, but you see VWAP has been flat for hours, so you could use it if you wanted to. No, I'm looking for increased volume to see if the shorts are covering. I want to see some size. You see, I know there's a seller now at 21.75, and I see this. Do you see those thousands? That's short covering. That's all you need to worry about for volume right now. Right? So this could be another look below and fail of 21.5. Let's give it another 10, 15 seconds. Yeah, the increasing volume is short covering. The shorts are always the first ones to come in and cover a low, right? Because they need to cover size. And they'll cover around that low, not exactly at it, but ahead of it and under it if they can. But you can see there's not much volume underneath that low. So the bulk of the volume is being bought here at 21.5. Now let's see if we can get over. Remember I told you there'd be a seller at 22 and change? Just under 23? Well, there they are. Right? So just give it some time. We know it's slow and choppy, so trades are going to take longer, right? If we know that it's slow and choppy, trades will take longer to play out. So just chill, right? You can see that sellers moved down to 21.5, smaller size, and just give it some time. The price action is nice and slow, so you'll be able to catch it when the time is right, okay? So if you're long 21.5, 22, make sure you've got sell orders out. If it can't, you'd have to give it a little bit of room here. If it takes out these candles here, you're gone, right? So there's your box. There's your little mini rotation, right? So you know now that the sellers are up here just at 22 and change. So remember, if you are long on that look below and fail at 22, sell a little at 23. It's not going to kill you, right? Put a 23 sell order out and make sure you get, if you don't get a print, then oh my God, it's going back down, right? So now watch the offer at 22. It might take a little longer to clean out. See how the point of control's down here, right? So that's the shorts absorbing. Wholesale will build a little position on top. Now let's see if anybody comes in and buys. Otherwise, we might have to flush it down and try this M low down at 17.18, right? Just be patient, no rush. Let's see now. You see there's a seller. You can see plain as day that there's a seller, right? There we go. We cleaned out that seller. Looking for 23. Right there you go. You bought 21. You're selling 24. I got one left, and I'll sell it at, oh, where am I going to get out? Where'd I get out of that? I hit the bid at 23 and a half on my last contract. That's okay. Hey, Keith, thank you. Right. Now, as long as it holds 20, 21 and a half, 22, it should go and tickle VWAP. Not necessarily SG. Sometimes we're 30 points away from VWAP and it's inconsequential. What I do, I don't look at VWAP really, right? I knew VWAP was there, so I knew I'm going to get out. So I was long here at 22, 23, and I was selling before VWAP, right? But I always, if you're listening, I always do this trade: the look below and fail, look below and fail, right? Sometimes you can take look below and fails at higher levels, and VWAP is of no consideration. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, holding over 25. I'm looking for the seller to engage, or I'm looking for the seller to lift. Lifting means raising the offer and raising price. That's what I'm looking for. Keeps things simple. Sometimes I don't even have VWAP on the screen. You know what I mean? It's not that important. Now, if you were my client and you gave me an order to work a 5,000 contract order, I'd have VWAP on the screen because I'd want to get you good prices. But as a retail trader, sure, VWAP is important, but it's not the end all and be all of trading, right? That's why I use cost bases. So I know here, like if you're following along, this is a really good deal. I would rather buy it at 21 than at 24 because this is where you get the best deal. See how simple it is? Now, if we take out the high of the morning, you will be looking for up here. So SG, if we stay above VWAP, the people who are short under 25, they're going to start coming into cover, and there'll be a seller at 29 and a half in this area. That's where they're going to engage next time. Why do sellers raise price? It's not going against them to raise price. So Lopez, think you're selling something and you're charging $3 and a whole bunch of people start lining up to buy it and you raise the price to $4. It's not going against you, buddy. You just zigged when you should have zagged. And sellers lower price when there's competition. It's a simple business thing that's being played out every day in front of you on a chart. Nobody just puts two and two together because people in retail trading have all been trained to lose money and trained with a bunch of nonsense and misinformation, which absolutely takes no account into the business that the chart is telling you. It's a sales chart. Right now they're raising prices because they're seeing buyers. Right? It is commerce, right? It's a market. That's why they call it the futures market, the stock market. That's why they don't call it the futures hot tub, right? Or the futures garden, right? It's a market. A market is where sellers come in and bring their goods to sell, right? And you want to sell as much as you can, as high as you can, for as long as you can. Unfortunately, you're not the only seller out there. And your ES contract is nothing special. It's not like there's a gold-plated ES contract and, you know, there's not different levels of ES. They're all the same. So if I'm selling at 78.23 and you offer at 22 half, I got a price match. Otherwise, I'm not going to be selling. You guys have to think about it like you're running a business. Take all this trading nonsense and throw it out the window. And think like a business person. Think like you're selling a product. And the chart is telling you how sales are going. Do we have to discount it? Or do we get to sell it at a premium? Right? Think like a business person. Do yourself a favor. Lose all the trading double talk that you've picked up in retail. I know I did too. When I started retail trading, they said, look at that, look at this, confluence, flatulence, this chart, that chart, all this nonsense, right? None of these people were making any money, right? Look below and fail of 21.5 again. We might just rotate from 21.5 to 25 for an hour or two. Right? There's not much to do. Do yourself a favor, folks. Simplify this as much as you possibly can so you can focus and reserve your energy for execution. Okay? That's where you need to be putting your energy. Execution, not analysis. Analysis is simple. Where are the sellers? Oh, they're at 23.5. You think they'll raise price to 24.5? If they see buyers, yeah. They'll tell us in about 30 seconds. Too much flatulence going on in retail trading. There you go, raising price. Will they sell into it at VWAP? Most probably. Right? Pretty simple. Execution is everything. Because it changes all the time. This week you'll execute like a god. Monday will come. The agenda of the market will change. The order flow will change as the agenda changes. And you need to know how to adapt. Right? Hey Raj, how you doing? So yeah, and remember, you're running your business. Nobody's got a gun to your head. So you trade only when it's beneficial for you, right? You only trade when it's beneficial for you. Is there any opportunity here? No. Right? Candles are getting smaller, price action's getting choppier. There you go, Lopez, right? All you have to worry about is the sellers. Don't worry about the buyers. The sellers will tell you if they're there. If the buyers are there, the sellers will raise price. If the buyers are not there, the sellers will discount price. As business has been going on, for tens of thousands of years, that's it. Right now, they're trying to lower price, maybe kind of bring some people into the store. Let's see if we take out the 19s, that 19 and a half bid. See how slow it is? See how small the candles are? It's getting choppier, isn't it? Because 20 minutes ago, the store opened and we had a little bit of traffic come in, enough to take price up to 28, but we couldn't hold 28 for more than half a minute, right? I don't understand your question, Louis. We can make money no matter what happens if we have a way to make money. So when the market does this, I do this. If the market doesn't do this, then I sit and wait. Pretty simple. Just a big order, Jonathan. Remember, right? You've been with us for a couple of weeks now, Jonathan. I've done tons of classes on this. I've talked about large candles, like to the point where I'm blue in the face. So what happens when price jumps? Can anyone in the room answer that question for Jonathan? Why do you get a big candle? Come on, guys. Let's see who's listening, right? No, there you go. It's one large order that comes in and moves price. That's it. It's just one large order. No, all right, it's just one large order. ATL, you're wrong. All right, you're wrong. Ronan, you're wrong. Sorry, one large order comes into a thin order book. Price jumps. End of story. Okay, now you guys remember that, okay? Right? You guys in the room should have all had the same answer, which means you're not listening. I know, it's summer. You guys got to pay attention, right? I do these videos, I do these execution labs. I talk about this stuff in detail. So if you're all getting a different answer, it means only one dude listened. Have to work on your listening skills and your focus, because this fall is going to be insanely difficult to trade. So if you guys aren't on the ball, you're going to be in big trouble. I'm just saying. Large orders do matter. There's no such thing as a fake out. Okay? I think you're looking at like early 1990s penny stock trading. Okay? Couple of hundred, Louis. There's usually 300 to 400 people in the room at any time. They're not all talking though. We have some people who talk a lot, and then we have some people who are quiet and they just listen. It's like anything else. So we've got that seller right here, right? This fall is going to be very difficult trading. If you think that the summer was a difficult trading environment for retail, you have no idea what's coming. The fall is going to be difficult because we're going to be going into the last quarter. And when you go into the last quarter, people need to make their quarter and to make their year for their performance incentives. So the market will be volatile. You'll have big candles, big wicks. It'll be slow. Then all of a sudden you'll have a big order, right? You guys are going to have to learn. You're going to be on the ball. Otherwise, you're going to be prey. You're going to be lunch. You're going to be food, right? Yep, there's a wall of selling at 28.5, right? I don't want you guys to be eaten alive, right? Because make no mistake, there are going to be people who are insanely well capitalized, very skilled, with very fast technology, who are going to be trying to make their last quarter and make their year look good if they didn't have a great year. So it's going to be like a mosh pit, for those of you who remember, right? So you combine that with thin order books, right? You combine thin order books and sort of a pirate agenda, and you better put in your mouthpiece. Make sure you've got your mouth guard in, right? It's just the business, right? The business is way more speculative than it has been in ages. The ranges are huge because the order books are thin, right? So you got to stick and move, right? You're not going to want to stand in there and go toe to toe with this thing. You're going to get your head knocked off, right? Or as the human piranha would say in Liar's Poker, the human piranha would say, you're going to get your face ripped off. Right? But we will prepare you so that does not happen. We'll teach you how to survive and thrive, right? Instead of just losing evaluation accounts and blowing up accounts, right? Instead of blowing up accounts and trying a new trading indicator every week, we'll teach you how to do proper business, right? Right? These markets have not been volatile at all, right? It'll be well, the order books then always in this market, animals households, because the market makers have to spread their capital over a much larger range. Think of it as a market maker only has so much peanut butter, and you've made the piece of toast triple the size, right? So they have to spread that peanut butter really thin. So when you have markets that have 150-point ranges, like it's not a big deal, the market makers have only a certain amount of net cap for that book. So instead of having 100 contracts or 200 contracts at every tick, they have 30 and 40 like they do now. And because of algorithmic trading, if I come in there and put a 2,000 contract order, that order book will empty out so fast it'll make your head spin. Because every single, like if I put in a big buy order, all the offers will just vanish and the thing will just jump. So it's kind of like driving a 1972 Dodge Dart that doesn't have any shocks, or that the shock absorbers are like 40 years old and never been replaced. Right? That's why you have these big candles, then it's slow, big candle. There's no continuity. Right? Globex is great because Globex, the night session is good if you can trade it because it's slow. The agenda is really simple, right? There's not as many players, right? Sometimes it's a little too slow, but you take the good with the bad, right? Right. And now we have probably the largest number of small hedge funds, family offices, partnerships, where we have some very sophisticated, very, very well trained traders. Look at that. See? Did you just see that? We just went up to 29 and right back down to 23 and now in the 25. Did everybody see how that happened? That is a thin order book. If you go and rewind that, it just printed the top and the bottom of the candle at the same time. Right? So, right, that's just, we used to call that the turn. Every time you change half-hour periods, you get a little monkey business. Right? Let's see if we get a little, let's see if that woke anybody up. Let's see if, the ES had some coffee. Right? What I'm worried about for my short selling, my addicted short sellers, right? My short selling addicts, if we take out that overnight high, It's a hop, skip, and a jump to the previous day high, which is the all-time high. If we get accepted over 78.40, for the love of God, please be careful shorting into a long week and into a weekend. Not a long weekend. I wish it was a long weekend. I wish it was a long weekend. But right now, we just got a rotation, right, as Tim says. So they kind of stopped selling around 23.5. They initiate at 28.5. And it'd be a good day to have a friend with a really nice boat. A lot cheaper than buying a boat yourself. Oh, it just means the sellers have seen buyers and they're raising price. Milo. So if we go from one step to another, right? And it's easier on the way up because you're cleaning out the inventory at that price level. And the higher you get, there's less inventory. Especially up here, there's not a lot of product to sell. That's why from say 29.5 to 32, it's kind of thin. And if we get over 32, there's nothing for sale up there. So then we'll be in pure price, pure price exploration. And let's put it to you this way. If you are short, that's okay. But if we get over yesterday's high, you'll see some covering. And where this thing stops, yeah. Well, because the order flow goes in through them, right? There's also size sellers who are not market makers. Like there are people out there who run partnerships and small funds. Some of these guys will be trading 2, 3, 4, 5,000 E-mini contracts. And they will act as market makers. But make no mistake, they're not there to help you make your life easy. They trade fast and hard. So the sellers are what we call wholesale longs. So when the market goes under a certain price or where they're looking at, where they see order flow, they'll start buying hundreds, sometimes thousands, right? Yeah, the Penguin's not really a day trader. The Penguin makes money a little bit differently. What he does, Tim, is say you have a public company and maybe you need to raise like $3 or $4 million, right? Or you got a little mining deal and you need a bridge loan of like 800 grand or $1 million, and your stock's trading at say $1.50. What the Penguin does is he'll say, listen, I'll give you $1 million, but I want my stock at 35 cents. So stock's trading at $1.50. His cost basis on the stock is 35 cents. So he's already baked in the profit. You'll say yes because you need the cash and you're not going to get it anywhere else. You're not going to get it from a bank because it's a spec mining deal. All right. So his thing is you always get stock at a discount. You never pay the market price for stock. My thing is I don't pay for stock because they give it to me for free. Right? So everyone's got their own shtick. Everyone's got their own way of doing business, right? Me, I like free stock. In 30 years, I've never paid for stock in my life. The only time I've ever put in a buy order is when I'm covering a short. I've never paid for stock. I'm not sure, Leslie. Probably a ton. Probably enough stock to fill one of those fancy rockets of his. Okay, watch out if we take out that overnight high. Right? Watch out. That's a different course, Lopez. See, the trading room is like $50 a month. To teach you how to get free stock is 10 grand a week. A little bit different program educationally. He's got Elon Musk has 6 billion shares of SpaceX. Good for him. Why not, eh? Nothing exceeds like excess. We stopped trading? Oh, it moved. There we go. Man, it's slow. Everyone's just kind of playing. You know, like those westerns? You know, where they have the standoff in the main street and you can hear the music? I can't whistle with this cold, but everyone's watching that 32 and they're like, I dare you to take it. No. Summertime sadness. Yeah, it's more like, it's a little too close. I don't know. If I was short, if I was positioned short on a Friday afternoon where we're like, you know, 10 points away from an all-time high, I'd be as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That is for sure. Exactly, Prism. Prism, that was a good band from the 70s. Yes, cost basis belongs to fast money traders that are market makers and act as market makers. Very, very good statement. And lately, this money is being run. Lately, this market is being run by fast money participants, and it has been since COVID. There's a lot of big, like small groups that have a lot of cash, right? To have a to have a hedge fund with $1 billion is like a small hedge fund now, right? I remember when $1 billion was a crap ton of money. Now, if you have a hedge fund with $1 billion, some dude will pat you on the head and go, "Oh, that's adorable," right? You know, so there's some serious cabbage out there. Over the last 20 years, we've created some fairly big megalodon type shark traders out there, right? Yeah, $1 billion. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, I remember when I had my first billion under management. Oh, what a simple time it was. I was young and innocent," right? It's hilarious. You know, these guys have made and ladies have made so much money now that they're spending their like cash instead of buying cars and houses and planes. Now they're spending cash on living forever. So that just goes to show how much money's out there now. It's just a game of chicken, Lopez, right now, right? I kind of hope they don't take that 32. I'm really not ready for an all-time high just yet. After I get off the stream, you guys can go hit an all-time high, right? And it's crazy how much, but they pay like first-year people 600-700 grand now on the street, like crazy dough. I mean, they'll work you like a rented mule, but you know, At least you'll be able to make your rent in Manhattan. Oh, goodness. Yeah, they will sell again. And it's starting to lose a little steam. Let's see if we can go tickle VWAP. I've only been to one beach in Liverpool. It's called Crosby Beach. But I'm sure there's quite a few. Saw a lot of the kids in my building yesterday were like really tan, so they must have been out doing something. Anyone still awake? Anything else? Anything interesting going on out there? Let's go look at the cool kids. Amazon 264. Crabapple 306. Intel 105. Look at JP Morgan, eh? The old man would be so proud if he was still alive. Look at that. Lilly 1183. I have no idea what Meta does anymore. Is Meta still doing that virtual reality thing, or was it the metaverse, or is that dead? Microsoft under 504. Micron 977. Oh, speaking of Muskosaurus. Aha. SpaceX seller at 144.40. That's good. Tesla 347. There's going to be some traffic up here in the 340s on Tesla. Boy. What happens at 11 o'clock? Well, I tend to call it algo smoke break. It's just, after that rush, it just kind of slows down, right? See you, Tim. Have a great weekend. You're smart. Go get out in the sun and enjoy your summer, my friend. Oh, so the metaverse now is like no longer? Yeah, the whole virtual reality thing really didn't take off, did it? It's like everyone starts talking AI, nobody cares about wearing a headset and zoning out in virtual reality. I thought it would be really cool to use it as an educational thing to teach people how to trade using VR, right? But nobody really, I don't know, it seems like it's expensive to build that kind of software and, you know, maybe one day. We'll see. Until then, we're stuck with this chop. So if anybody does join over the weekend, you'll have access to our Discord. I will be around all weekend, and I will be working. So now that I'm not sick anymore, I'll do a weekend update video, that kind of thing. And we're going to have a couple of workshops next week on execution, for sure, in the room. Moran, maybe it's time to go have, what do you guys eat? What are those things that you guys eat? A stroop waffle? Maybe it's time for one of those and a coffee. No problem, Lopez. Have a great weekend. Might be time for that, you know? A coffee and a pancake. There you go, right? Oof. We've got just a couple of weeks of summer left, my friends. Enjoy it. Don't sit in front of the screen endlessly. Remember, go enjoy your weekend. Does anybody have any questions? Anything you need help with? I'll let you guys go a little bit early and go enjoy your summer weekend. You know, there's really not much going on here. You know, and if you are around this weekend and you do end up joining Trading Syndicate, remember we are having Steve's doing a giveaway. It's too hot to go outside. Well, you need to get a friend with a pool. Too hot there too in Holland. I'm going to let you guys go a little early. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't throw away your money in this chop, okay? Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning. Enjoy yourselves. You young traders, go get into some trouble for me. Thanks. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you Monday. Be safe out there. Bye for now.